everyone, and welcome back to Art a la Carte. And this video is another speed drawing that I did of a Black Panther. And I decided to do this on black art paper using my Prismacolor color pencils. So the whole theme of this video and even this exercise for me was to push myself out of my comfort zone. Every artist, when we start practicing and getting good at things, we find the medium or the topic that we like to draw, and we work on that all the time, and we draw that, and we enjoy drawing that. And when friends ask us, hey, draw us a picture, that's our go-to thing. We always go back to drawing that thing. For me, it's a couple of different things that are really safe. I really enjoy drawing faces. I really enjoy drawing like horses, whales, animals, nature, things like that. I enjoy drawing those things. But my technique is my safety zone. And it's not that technique is bad. Technique is what makes you the artist that you are, is the technique that you have. That's how you create your pieces. But pushing yourself to do something with a different technique is, going to open up some things. So I'm always encouraging myself, and in turn I want to encourage you guys to, every once in a while, just pick something that maybe you're not really super familiar with drawing or comfortable with drawing, or a technique or a medium that you're not super familiar with, and just work at it. So this piece incorporates several different things that are not my go-to comfort zone. If I was going to have a crowd of people watching me draw something, this would not be the animal or the method that I would use. Okay, so first let me talk about why this Black Panther would be hard. For one, I'm trying to do a realistic looking picture. I do a lot of cartoon or illustrated looks, which tend to lean on not towards the realistic side of things, but to try to do something that looks, I'm trying to go for maybe like a photo look to it or not. It's not my comfort zone. Because when you go to draw something that looks like it's really super realistic, or like you took a photo of it, you have a very small leeway for interpretation. You have to really make sure that everything is spot on, which is great. I love watching artists who can draw hyper realistically. That's just something that I have never really pushed myself towards doing. And so I try to do that every once in a while. I will set myself down, I'll try to draw a portrait and try to make it super realistic, or a landscape and try to make it realistic, or like this, try to make it realistic. So I find something that I enjoy drawing, but I don't do it a lot, and I push myself to do it. Panthers or any kind of big cats have always been a little bit of a challenge for me, because I tend to draw things kind of cute and fluffy, and so drawing like a kitten version of them I could do, or a cartoon version I could do of them, but the proportions and skull structures and the anatomy of big cats I haven't done a lot of practicing on, so I'm not as readily familiar. Hence the reason there's not a lot of tutorials on how to draw lions, tigers, and bears. I have a couple tiger painting videos because I love painting tigers, and I almost decided to do a tiger in this picture, but I thought I always do tigers. Let's do something different. So second, I chose a Black Panther because the contrast, or how to get the lack of color in a Black Panther would be a little bit more challenging. And so you're just trying to pull out highlights, and so you're having to really look at your highlights and decide what those colors are. So that would be challenging for me. But probably the biggest challenge, and if you guys have been watching my videos for a long time, you might have already noticed a step that I have not taken that I do in all of my videos. Every time I do a tutorial video, I tell you to do this. And before I get into that, I want to tell you that when you're learning how to draw, or even after you learn how to draw, these are really important to use, but I don't want to have them so important that I have to rely on them every time. It's really good to push yourself to not use them. It's always good to do an exercise where I can't use them. It actually helps me appreciate them more, which is my guideline. So you'll see I didn't build this shape up, I didn't build this cat up using my shapes of circles and things like that. I really wanted to get in there and draw a circle for the head and block out the facial features. And the guidelines, and again, this is not a video advocating not to use guidelines. I have comments all the time saying, why do you have to use guidelines? I don't want to draw with guidelines. And I'm not trying to say, yeah, don't draw with guidelines. guidelines are awesome because they're going to help you get your proportions correct. The reason I chose not to draw with guidelines is it was the biggest brain workout for me to get everything in proportion and not have a guideline to go with. So for me, who really enjoy using guidelines, to push myself to not use guidelines is sometimes a good thing. If you don't use guidelines, I encourage you push yourself to use guidelines. Whatever it is, push yourself to do the thing that you're not super confident in. There are things that I just don't like to draw, and I'm not going to push myself to draw things that I don't like to draw, like a race car. I don't like drawing cars, trucks, planes, trains, anything that has a man-made line. It's just not fun to me. I want art to always be fun. So, just because you're having to push yourself to do something that you've not done before, make sure it's still something that you enjoy drawing. I enjoy drawing life. I enjoy drawing animals. So this was a great exercise for me. It was also really fun to do this on the black art paper and pull out my highlights. Generally we draw on white paper and we're pushing in our shadows and tones and things like this, where this time I'm pulling out highlights and bringing out my tones. So you have to almost think in reverse. You want to think of what colors are going to pop the most. When you're drawing with white paper and you go to use something you want a nice strong contrast, you always go to your dark colors, and then for your mid-tones you go for your lighter colors. Well, drawing on black paper it's reverse, and it sounds like it would be simple, but it was actually really challenging to keep remembering that my light grays were going to have the biggest contrasts and that my darkest colors still were going to have just a minimal effect. And then blending out different colors and seeing what the true colors were. Working and trying to find the fur patterns and how the light would shine on the fur. This whole piece was really super fun, but again, super challenging. So for all of you guys who have been working on your art and trying to find new ways to encourage yourselves, I encourage you to do this, to maybe find a project like this this week to work on. Find something that you enjoy drawing, and then draw it in a way that maybe is a little bit hard. Maybe if you always use pencil, try to draw with pen. If you always enjoy coloring with markers, then try watercolor or acrylic or oil paint. Just as an artist, always be mindful of your work and that you're not allowing yourself to get stagnant in drawing the same thing that you're comfortable and good with every day, all the time. Push yourself to draw something new, and that's, as an artist, how you grow and get better at things. And it doesn't matter if you've been an artist for a couple of weeks or a couple of decades. We should always be growing and challenging ourselves to do something new. Well, hopefully you found this video encouraging and you're inspired to get out there and start drawing. But before you do, if you could give this video a thumbs up, that would be so awesome. I would really appreciate it. Also, share this video on your social medias, Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. It helps other people find this channel, helps us to grow our Art a la Carte family, letting other people know how fun it can be to draw and create. Well, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye! I want you to be as excited about coloring these as I am. So once that piece makes it past the second evaluation, then I do a test coloring. So step 3 is to actually print this out and color it.